Hello and welcome folks to, of course, the first build in SP6. Special Projects Pack number 6. It's crazy to me to think that I've done 60 of these cars in these packs alone, let alone all of the individual ones as well. As you'll have seen from the teaser trailer yesterday on the channel, there's a very healthy dose of nostalgia in this particular selection. I've done more of these liveries myself than I think pretty much any of the other packs. 5 out of the 10 cars are ones which I've done myself, including this one for the RUF BTR. And of course, nostalgia not only for Gran Turismo, but a couple of the cars in the pack will be nostalgic for my fellow older Forza game players, like the Ferrari 458 Challenge and the 1999 shape Viper ACR. We are kicking off though with, of course, a legend from Gran Turismo, the RUF BTR. Easily overshadowed by the Yellowbird. This has always been my favourite RUF in the series though. Even though it's one of the slightly slower ones, I just love the way it looks, I love the way it drives. As you can see at the top of the screen, you want to base this on the 1981 911 Turbo, the 930 generation. Thankfully, with the visual upgrades that we can do, you can actually make it look quite similar to the real thing, which is cool. I've done it in 7 different colours. You can grab any of those that you want, of course, from my page in Gran Turismo by clicking the link in the description right below the video. I've done it in orange, as you can see here. We've also got white, yellow, pink, red, blue, and black. So 7 different options. All of them look great. They're all wacky colours, just like the RUFs used to have. In terms of upgrading the car, we are using Gran Turismo 6 as a reference. So the weight, the power, and even the bored-out engine to make it match that 3.4 litre. Now, it's not exact in terms of power. It's 1 horsepower more than it used to have in Gran Turismo 6, which was 369, but yeah, it's close enough, you know, unless you want to start messing around with restrictors, and then you've got to fit other parts if you really want to get it down to that exact number. So we've got the sports filter, sports silencer, sports pads, stage 1 weight. I know some people like to leave these cars on comfort tyres for the realism. I've opted to upgrade it slightly to sports hards instead, so I'll leave that down to you. As far as club sports, you've got the bored-out engine, as I said, the sports brakes, the clutch and flywheel. You want your ballast as well to make that weight up to 1180 kilos. Again, just like Gran Turismo 6, we've got the fully customised computer, the fully customised diff, or limited slip diff, as they list it here, of course. The height adjustable sports suspension, because of course it's not a race car, so you don't want to make it feel too good. We've got the balance tuning on the engine. As far as the extreme stuff, there's nothing fitted, and likewise for the ultimate. So like I said, it's quite simple, and even the point level is not that high, at 570. Now, of course, we'll take it out on the track in just a second, but first of all, to show you what I've done in terms of tuning, of course, we've got the tyres fitted. For the suspension, I've dropped the ride height to 110mm. We've got the anti-roll stuck on 1 because, of course, it is sports suspension, so there's not everything that you can do to it anyway. We've got 35 on compression, 45 on expansion. We've tightened up the frequency on the springs a bit to 2.25 front and back. 1 degree of camber. The toe is non-adjustable either. For the diff, I've opted for 10, 20 and 20. Gearbox, of course, all this is standard. The power restrictor isn't purchased. I haven't adjusted the ECU output either. You want 10 kilos of ballast, so not that much at all to get us up to that Gran Turismo 6 weight. I've opted to put that all the way to the front. You don't have to do that, but I've opted to just a little bit, you know, a touch closer to 50-50. Not that it's really that much of a difference. And of course over here you can see all of the other stuff that we've fitted as well. So of course, now if we jump out to the track, you'll be able to see what this car can do in practice. Now, as I alluded to just now, this thing is great to drive. You know, not to toot my own flute, but I love the way this car turned out. Like I said, I always loved the BTR. I feel like a lot of people overlooked it for the much more obvious CTR2 or even the Yellowbird, but this one was smooth, it was more forgiving, still very, very quick, but kind of the underdog, a bit like the 3400S was as well. It feels fantastic, there's no other way of saying it. Even on sports hards, even at 570 points, which isn't that high, it feels like a weapon. It's so fun to drive, you can definitely kick its tail out and have a bit of fun, but it's surprisingly forgiving, and in that regard, I actually feel quite proud of how similar to the BTR it feels. Because of the RUFs in Gran Turismo, the BTR definitely was one of the easier ones to drive. So, in terms of performance, of course it's rapid. It's not that heavy, it's got a great amount of power. Even the visuals aren't that far off, which is pretty cool considering that we're basing it on a totally different car within the game. So if you do decide to use the tune, if you certainly grab one of the liveries that I've done in various colours, of course let me know if you enjoyed the car. And it goes without saying, stick around the rest of this week, of course, or just click through to the Gran Turismo playlist here on the channel to check out all of the other builds this week. But that's it for kicking off Special Projects Pack number 6, and of course I'll see you next time. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.